Hello, I'm Sharon Taylor, founder and CEO of the Business Vision and Development Center, and I have Tori Autumn on Small Business Spotlight. Hi, Tori.
Hi, Sharon. I'm excited to be on. To be
And
to
I'm
be.
excited to have you. If you didn't miss last month's episode, Tori talked about time management. And this month is about marketing. And I could not go through a month of marketing without having Tori come chat with us again. If you don't remember, Tori is a conversion copywriter, has her own business, and she's just a wealth of knowledge for our business owners, entrepreneurs, and has been a great asset to me. So, Tori, you ready to get into some marketing stuff?
I am. I'm so excited to chat. It's my favorite subject.
And I'm going to ask you some of the questions that you probably get and I get the most. And of course, I'm taking notes because I need some of this information. And also, our viewers, I want you to be aware too. And you can also watch this video later and make notes. But the first question is, how can I boost my online presence to attract more customers?
Yes. So this is probably the number one question I get asked all the time. And right before you press record on this call, you and I had a discussion just catching up. But one of the things that you mentioned was utilizing your network. And I think that it's so underutilized. We think that we're bothering people. We think that people may not be interested. But I highly recommend the people that you have really good relationships with, make a list of their names. And first I would start from a place of giving. So if you see that they have a podcast, or you see that they have an event coming up, share it. Share it, share it, share it. And then you will feel more comfortable asking them to share things that you have going on in your community. And that's a quick way to boost your online presence. Not only does it boost your online presence, but it'll get people more engaged because they're like, oh, if Sharon is sharing a post about someone else's work or services, then they must be reputable. They must be trustworthy. And so I'm feeling more inclined to check it out as opposed to me just seeing an ad on Facebook. As soon as you start mentioning you need to go buy a new coffee pot, you get all these ads about new coffee pots and Keurig and the coffee beans. But it feels more human. It feels more realistic to ask your network to do stuff. So I would make a list of 10 people who you can count on. And they don't have to be, and this is one key on boosting your online presence. I wouldn't go for people who specifically are in the same niche as you because
Okay.
their audience is already saturated with a lot of those things. So I would go to other business owners who, if you are doing products, I would go to other product based, but maybe not the same product. Service, likewise, service based businesses, but not the same exact services, and ask them to share your stuff. Another way that you can boost your online presence is by being more active. So some ways that people are already doing are creating videos, reels, and commenting. But the other ways that you can also be more active is by creating polls online and asking people, hey, I'm thinking about launching a mini course on how to make more money by and working less. What do you think of these titles A, B, and C? And then people feel like they are a part of something. And when people feel like they are part of something or they're giving advice, they feel more inclined to share, to like, to post, and even start a conversation, which could lead to nurturing or sales. And that's my third thing. I feel like a lot of people look at online presence, their online social presence, as a way of, I have to make more money, I have to make more money, which is true. You can totally increase your sales with online, but I also look at it as, what relationships do I need to nurture? What might be something that takes a year later, but I got introduced to
Yes.
speaking opportunity. I got introduced to write a proposal for this grant, and now I'm in line to get this grant for my business. I think nurturing relationships are even more valuable than just getting a quick sale. And so in terms of boosting your online presence, I would look into different groups of people who, whether it's an organization or someone who's running a small business agency, and see how can you support them and let them know what you have going on and how you have a goal of wanting more people to get more eyes on your services, and letting them know you just want to be a part of their community.
That is such a good idea because I have found with me, um, I need to make that list that you said because I am very random in responding. And it could be some cats playing with yarn. It's just like I like it, it's cute, I'm commenting, but yet I'm not uh connecting with people that are my community. So I think that's a very good idea. In fact, I'm going to sit down and I'm gonna pick out 10 social media, um what's the word I'm looking for? Social media people that I should be following, that I should be commenting on, and that I should be engaging with, and just get to know them, get to know what they're doing, let them get to know me instead of all this random watching puppies play with babies all day long on TikTok. And so now, but I'm probably going to come back to that about the online presence. Let's just get into it now. In terms of, there are so many: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. How do we as entrepreneurs discern where we need to be?
So that's a good question. So I think that with there, so let's just talk about the different avenues for online presence. So you have your website, which is something that you can't really have a like you can build community through your email, but most of the time it's people viewing your website, and if unless you have like an automated instant messenger, which which most people I know don't have that unless they have like a, seven-figure business, but or even just a larger scale business. But yeah, you have your website where people can learn more about you and your services. And then you have social media where people can see your LinkedIn or your Instagram or your Facebook and actually see the type of content you have, and also YouTube. And then you have email marketing, which is where you could send out newsletters, you can send out announcements about your services and upcoming events. So those are the typical ways that people find other people online. Now, in terms of which ones work better for someone's business or services or niche, it all depends on what type of response they're getting. So my suggestion is to first start off with building that list. Even people tend to think that they have to have a really large following to get noticed. And I know lots of people who are doing really well for themselves without a large following in their business, but they are very intentional on the type of conversations that they're having and ways that they can interact with their community. Going back to this place that people like to be a part of something,
Mhm.
my recommendation is if the thought of getting on TikTok and pointing and dancing is not your thing, good thing is you don't have to start there. If you really want to understand your audience better and see how they like to get information,
Mhm.
my suggestion is to have a quarterly um some type of telesummit where you can actually bring in speakers who would then share to their email list and share to their social media channels, and you get them to sign an agreement they'll at least share 2 or 3 times that they talk about a specific topic that you are an expert in. And you don't even have to actually teach a lot. You can bring in these experts on certain things like time management and like putting together uh a proposal or a business plan. And if there's a specific a topic that you want to teach, then you can save that for the end of the summit. But it can be a virtual 2 to 3 hour event, and you can choose to charge. I think the first event usually could be free and just to get a feeler of what people like. And then also the next event, maybe 2 or 3 months down the line with different types of speakers. Maybe it's all women, maybe it's people of color, maybe it's a combination. You can charge maybe $25 to $50. But in that, you are holding people accountable to show up, but also give their advice and give their opinion, and also ask them, how would you like to learn more? Are you more of an email person? Are you more social media? Because one thing that I notice with a lot of entrepreneurs, when we're trying to figure it out, we wear so many hats and we forget that it is a two-way street. We forget that asking your audience what they would like is not, it doesn't mean that you're not an expert, but it's letting you know, like, oh, I spent all my time on email marketing and my audience is actually on LinkedIn. Like,
Right, right, right.
yes. And then again, looking at the metrics. So if you put a post up, you can, what I love about LinkedIn is you can see how many people view it, and you get an idea of, maybe I can change my hashtag. This post did the best because this is how many views and clicks and reshares I have. Out of all the other ones, this has the most. So let me actually talk about more topics going this way and see what type of
Okay.
I get. So
That
that,
is great advice, Tori.
thank
I
you.
need to be charging somebody to listen to this.
Yeah.
So the next question, and I think you might have answered this, are effective strategies to connect with your target audience. So I think you've kind of touched on that already in terms of where they need to do their social media posts and how they figure it out and looking at metrics and building community. So my next question is, what new trends or technologies should businesses know to lead in marketing? Please, Lord, don't tell me I got to make another reel. I swear I can.
No, no, you don't. You don't have to make it real and let. To me, I think reels work really well for people who have, well, for products and services, but I see it even more popular with products. I see that being really effective, especially like the behind the scenes stuff. But that's, yeah, I don't recommend people do that if they find it being like just taking up too much time. So I have an interesting perspective on AI and Chat GPT. I know that people are saying, like, well, they're washing away copywriters, and so a lot of my copywriter friends are not too happy about it. But AI still doesn't have as much of a human connection as hiring marketers or hiring a copywriter. They can't go out and interview your audience and survey it. But it is really smart and at least giving you a baseline of an idea that you have, and how you want to structure it. And I love it for that. So I know that you mentioned you like Claude. I use Jasper. I know a few people who just use ChatGPT, and some of the ways that you can use it outside of just coming up with like um, inspiration for newsletters or social media is also drafting different survey questions that you can ask your audience. You can also come up with different course titles. You can come up with different outlines for public speaking. And like I said, it just gives you, it just spits out something, but at least it's something where you're not feeling like you have to start from scratch. So look at it as more of an
I
eye instead of an answer.
I love it. And I found this on Instagram that she did some kind of formula and I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. But I typed it in as she said it, and it gave me an entire calendar for 30 days of post for based on my audience and based on my services. And I was like, wow. Now, if you ask me what the formula is right now, I could never give it to you. But
Yeah.
on social media, there are a lot of things on how to use AI to help your business. And I found it helpful, like when I'm getting brain fog, and I need an
Yeah.
outline, and so yeah, I like it. I do like it. I do wonder um how it's going to affect us going forward, because I like the personal touch. You
Mm,
know, I don't think I want to talk to your clone, Tori. I
yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to see your avatar and hear your robotic voice. And
Yeah.
I still like the personal touch, but like you said, I think it's a great tool that we can use
Mhm.
to help us.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I look at it as an ally and not the answer to everything. And side note, and I'll keep this really short, but I attended this event with C-SPAN where they do student cam awards every year, and basically they ask students in high school a topic that's government or political based, and then students across the country submit videos, and then they give grand prizes of like $3,000, 5,000, 10,000. And one of the students that I attended at high school did their project on AI, and they didn't like AI because a lot of students are using it to cheat and do plagiarism. And so we're seeing like the effects of it. But that's why I said it's a baseline. But please, 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 I encourage everyone, so that you don't get your business at risk by any means, to always do your fact check, because
Yes,
it's
because
out there.
I'm gonna fact check you. I'm
Yes,
gonna
there we go.
I'll be like, that don't I don't know about that. And
Yes,
I'm gonna be like, AI, and then go right back to Claude and say, Claude, what you think about
right.
what you think about all this? So, next question. How can small businesses sell services at both affordable and premium prices? Before you answer that, I just want to say that, and I don't want to say in our community, but in my experience, is that when it comes to services, because I do services, that people don't want to pay the price that you quote them. It's always, not always, but sometimes it's long negotiation on, first it'll start with, I'll pay anything, just do this for me. And then I'll write it up based on my services and the fees, and then they go ghost. So that's kind of also how you can kind of weed out people who are not serious.
Yeah.
And so how do you keep it affordable and have premium pricing at the same time?
Good question. So, one of the things that I feel like people overlook is how, okay, throughout the year, for people who are in, whether it's part-time or full-time jobs, we know that when we get a new job, the first thing we're looking at is what holidays do we get off? What holidays can we take off? I mean, I know I do.
Me
So,
too. And can we telework?
right, okay. But in small business, those holidays are a gold mine for us because people are at home. People are at home. And I think that if you look at the holidays and say, I'm going to create sales, deals, and promotions around it, that is one way to increase sales, because people are looking to spend, no matter how much they say, that's too much. They're waiting for an opportunity for the price to either be lower or you to increase urgency. Now, I would say increase urgency can be two things. You can either say, I'm only offering this program until this date at noon. So you better grab it while it's 25% off, or you better use this code into Halloween 12 p.m. Or the other one is, I have this group program. I think this will be very valuable for you, but I only have 3 spots left. And that is really, I say that with a star, because we've heard people say that before, and some people on the customer side, they're like, is that really true? So I've always used that with caution and not do it in a manipulative way. But
Yes.
increasing urgency is either I have X amount of spots left, or you can only get this discount by this date is one way to do it for sure. Another way, and it also around holidays. Look at the holidays throughout the year and say which ones could I really create something special for people that's affordable, but also that you can increase your revenue, because I think that there are two type of audience member or customers. There are people who do want the premium service that you offer, and those people will most likely find you through public speaking. For some reason, the more that people are speaking and the more that people are seeing you podcasts or blogs or in-person summits, then they already view you as a celebrity in a way, and that you can offer them the group program. I wouldn't offer them the 1999 thing or 599 thing. I would say more so people who are just meeting you on social media, and that's the only reference point to have to you. I think people on social media are looking to do more quick spending than people who are at a public speaking opportunity. So just knowing those two audiences and kind of segmenting it out to help you increase your sales.
And who could resist me?
Right. Who could resist Miss Sharon?
And you're exactly right, because around September, October, I start really promoting doing business plans, because typically January, everybody wants to start their own business. So I really gin up that during those time frames. And I know that a lot of people start really promoting stuff around tax time. They know these people getting their checks and they gonna want this and they gonna want that. And so it's important to know who your audience is. It's important to notice the seasons of the year and the spending trends, and what's hot and what's not. And definitely structure your sales, your products and services based on those trends.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
thank you so much, Tori, again, and I will have you back many, many more times. So give us your website again.
Thank you so much for having me on here. My website is heytoriautumn.com, and you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram at Tori Autumn.
Hey, Tori.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Like, share, and subscribe.